Morning all. We're doing another experiment today. You're going to see my ugly mug shots while I'm explaining the game. Please let me know if you'd rather not see me. This is a brilliant game of Zsuzsa Polgar, which was featured on the Chess Games Game of the Day recently. So Zsuzsa Polgar was white, and she was playing Chiburdanidze, and she played knight f3, and now after knight f6, c4. So we have the English opening. After e6, Zsuzsa played knight c3, and now bishop b4. Zsuzsa plays queen c2. So it's a bit like my game at Southend recently. I would like to get the two bishops. I'm sure Zsuzsa might as well. So she plays a3. She collects that dark squared bishop, and like my game at the Southend, she prepares bishop b2, but this time with b4, so that b2 square can now be used for this fianchettoed queen's bishop. And here we see a very, very aggressive move, g4. So the knight can't take that because the queen takes g7 mate. So hyper aggression straight in the opening. It might be weakening, however, this diagonal. So black plays bishop b7, and after g5 plays knight h5. So it seems as though it's quite safe for black, protecting that g7 pawn. After rook g1, e5 is played. And it looks as though black's quite solid now on the diagonal. But this game has something quite spectacular coming up. After bishop h3, knight f4, Zsuzsa plays bishop f5. And she encourages a weakness from black on this diagonal, which would seem to be academic, but actually it's not. After g6, knight takes e5 was played. Quite a stunning surprise. So it's ripping open this diagonal, especially this sensitive square g7. Here though, an amazing continuation occurred. Taking would be suicidal. Let's have a quick look at taking. Just queen takes e5, and it's very, very dangerous. For example, f6, maybe just take with the threat of f7 check, mating. Instead, black played knight takes e2, and now Zsuzsa's queen is attacked, but instead of moving it, she just plays knight takes f7, so a queen sacrifice. So this is all done without white even castling. So knight takes queen, knight h6 check, and now we start to see the point of it all. After king g7, bishop takes c3 check, black is forced to give back material. This diagonal is extremely painful. So rook f6, and now bishop takes f6 check. So Zsuzsa's regained a lot of her material. And after the smoke's cleared here, white is the exchange up. Pawns are equal, but bishop e6, now she's threatening bishop d5. So white has a winning advantage here from this spectacular way of playing. So knight c6, bishop d5, and the rest is really just technique. It's the exchange up now. She's the exchange up. So she closes the queen side, protects the c4 pawn, but now just goes for black's a7 pawn. Or, not even that, just doubling rooks on the 7th now. Finally taking the a7 pawn and b6. So white's just got a clearly winning position. These checks seem quite harmless. Zsuzsa just gave up the exchange here because these pawns carry the win through. Here is the final position. So let's have a quick overview and summary of this game. We'll rewind right to the beginning. So it was an aggressively played English opening. White collected the dark squared bishop and played this hyper aggressive g4 idea. So even allowing black to seemingly solidify the diagonal, but just carrying on with this bishop h3, probing black's king position. And now the spectacular knight takes e5 was played, leading to this great imaginative queen sacrifice with knight takes f7. By the way, here, if rook takes f7, then queen h8 mate. king takes, that looks pretty dire as well. Maybe just queen g7. And here bishop f6 seems very, very strong. So black just took the queen in the game, allowing this very, very painful diagonal. So white regained all the material, just the exchange up, and the rest was just, as they say, technique. White just used the rooks, sacrificed back the exchange, and these pawns were decisive. I hope you enjoyed that. Please leave any comments on YouTube. Thanks very much.